Good morning, good morning. So I am super excited. It is, I think it's about 6:30 on Monday, the 25th of October, and this is my first international speaking event for over 2 years. So you can imagine how excited I am. So the reason I thought I'd do a little vlog just to show you what's going on around the rest of the world and what's going on in the speaking industry. And so watch this space. I am off to Warsaw, Poland. I'm just waiting on some transport now to get me there, and I will fill you in throughout the trip. But the event is actually for the Polish government. It's sponsored by the Polish government, and it's to educate 5,000 businesses on how to scale up their business, how to have the right foundations in their business, and also engage with the right team members. So it's about getting performance, productivity, and entrepreneurship by getting their team members to think like top entrepreneurs. So watch this space, and I will fill you in throughout the journey to and from Poland. I am now in Warsaw. I have never been to Warsaw before. I've actually never been to Poland before, and I've checked into the hotel. I'm now going to do if you're speaking at an event, usually you go the night before, or if you're on, you do a bit of a dry run. So I'm on my way now to the venue, which is about a 25-minute walk, and I just can't wait. I'm so excited. It's not going to be live in front of people because obviously for COVID restrictions, but it's been sponsored by the Polish government, so there's about 5,000 attendees that are going to be tuning in. So yes, I'll be sending you some more. Let me show you around a wee bit more of Warsaw. So I am now on set pre-event, and you can see behind me we've got the Smash It, and we've got the conference logo. I'm going to try and turn behind so that you can see everything else that's going on. So there might be a wee bit light, but you can see the timer is on there, the prompters are on there, the cameras are all on there as well. So it is about 30 minutes-ish before kick-off. As you can see, I've got my makeup done, and I want to do a little bit of a last-minute run-through just to make sure that I know the content, because I wrote the content, but just to get my head in the game. So I will update you with the feedback later. So it's the day after the speaking event in Poland, and I was really keen to be able to do lots of video as I was going through and tell you what was going on and show you behind the scenes. But sometimes life just doesn't work out the way that you plan, because when you do speak at events, you know your content, but you've got to have your head in the game, and I think doing the video would have been a big distraction. So I'm going to do a little bit of a summary of what happened from start to finish, what it looked like, what the takeaways for the audience were, and what I really hope to do moving forward. So you saw the start of the video when I left Chippenham. I was on the bus, early doors. I got to Heathrow, and touch wood, it went without a hitch. But one of the things, because of the COVID restrictions, our brain does play tricks on us. And I'm thinking, have I got the right paperwork? Have I got everything I need? And we do, literally, it's that fight, flight and freeze, and you think, have I prepared? Have I got everything? So touch wood, I had the right documentation, and I arrived into Warsaw, no problem at all. And then day one, I checked into the hotel, which was in Old Town. It's by the castle. which was absolutely a brilliant location. So if you've been to Warsaw, one of the things that I discovered was actually during World War II, Warsaw was completely destroyed. There was nothing. So it had to be rebuilt from 1944. I think they started to do the rebuilding. And again, I didn't know much about the history of the country, but the way that I learn is by having conversations with people who are local, getting their opinions, hearing all the different sides. And I think I found it really fascinating. So we went out for dinner with some amazing people, Eva, Sebastian and Kobe, and just really got to know them. And I think, as a speaker at an event, it's about really turning up on time, engaging with the other speakers, making sure that you're all aligned and get the message for the audience. Then on the day of the event, so that was on the Tuesday morning, one of the things that I've been taught by speaker bureaus is be easy to work with. Don't be difficult, don't be a diva. And I spoke to someone who does book speakers, and they say that a lot of times, again, I'm not naming any names, but female speakers get a bad reputation because they're quite diva-ish and demanding. And I don't think that's something that you could ever call me, because I'm there bright and early, I've practiced my lines, I'm obliging, and I find it hard that females get that reputation. So I think that the secret is to be easy to work with. Now, the presentation itself. So because of COVID, the target audience was for businesses who are starting up and scaling up. The event was also sponsored by the Polish government, and there was a lot of investment went into this. And the target audience was 5,000, so there was 5,000 businesses that were attending. And obviously, through COVID regulations, we cannot have 5,000 people, or we can have 5,000 people, but it becomes complicated. So what they did was they had set up like a TV studio, and it was streamed straight out live. But the studio was top drawer. I mean, literally. It just looked like a TV set. I've done some work with BBC News, and I've done some work with Live TV and Amazon Prime, but this was absolutely outstanding. But the other thing was, so I think every single day is a school day. So one of the things that I learned, there's two things. When I do TV, I either do straight to camera like this, or I do interview status where somebody's interviewing me and I'm talking to the other person. But yesterday I had to work on which camera was live. So there was 3 cameras. So it must be a bit like if you're the presenter of GMB, or you're doing presenting TV shows, because you have to watch again, and you can see it if you watch things like Ant and Dec doing I'm a Celebrity. Sometimes you forget which camera you're on. So there was 3 cameras, so I had to watch where the light was and talk to the right camera at the right time. Now I've never done that before. I probably wasn't perfect at it, but the MC, Matt, he really commended me on the effort that I made. So again, I think even at a speaking event, is learning new things. My top tips is make sure you run through your content. Again, the brilliant thing about the studio, it had the timer, so I knew what the timings were for my talk. I could see how much time was left, and really, and again, engaging with the audience, because I love with a large face-to-face audience, I go, put your hand up, do this, say that, who's that person? And really kind of, like if it's live, I'm kind of running around the room. I'm a cameraman's nightmare because I'm all over the place. But actually, I just continued that status and said, like, you might be in your home, you might be in your office, but put your hand up. And again, some people would just do that because it's a bit like Simon Says. If someone says do that, then you do it. So I just think it's a great way to interact. Again, the other top tip is, make sure you do not run over. It's horrific sometimes if I'm at a talk and I'm coming up after someone and the event schedule just gets thrown off. So, never run over. Make sure you're hot on your timings. Also, just really try, for me, especially speaking in Poland, I had to work on my enunciation. I had to ensure that they knew that I was Scottish, so they might have to listen a little bit harder, but it would be subtitled. And I think the other thing, I learned a new word in Polish, dzień dobry, which means hello. So again, making a little bit of an effort never goes amiss. So when the event finished, I then had some free time. And during that, I really did a little bit more of getting to know Warsaw, getting to know Poland. And then I went out the second night for the speakers dinner. So again, make sure you're available, make sure you're enjoying the event, because I think it's not just the half an hour that you talk or the hour that you talk, it's actually just being embraced in that situation, in that country, in that culture, and really being interested, not just making it up, but genuinely interested. And I must say that I loved it. So this is my third day. Literally, the flight is this afternoon. It's actually surprisingly warmer than I thought it was going to be, because when I did the research it said it's going to be 0 degrees. But I have got my hat, and I do feel like I am feeling autumnal. I do match the pumpkins that are everywhere at the moment and the autumn leaves. So even down to organising what you wear to match. So I wanted to thank you, Sebastian and the organisers of the event, because I really, really enjoyed it, and I will fill you in a little bit more with some shots from the return journey, little bits from the airport. But thank you so much, and that's my top tips for speaking at an event overseas, and a little bit of information on what I learned in Poland.